Hello, everyone. I welcome you all. Can you hear
Hello, good
me?
morning, sir.
Okay, good
Yes,
morning. Thank you for coming. Well, I welcome you. I would just like to use this time to get started. And the first thing I'm going to do here is to give a brief introduction about myself. My name is Michael Auleye. I'm a senior research fellow at the African Institute for Science, Policy and Innovation, Obafemiolo University, Ife, Nigeria. I also double as a senior research associate of the DST NRF Newton Fund Trilateral Research Chair in Transformative Innovation, College of Business and Economics, University of Johannesburg, South Africa. Proud to now, I worked with the National Center for Technology Management for about 15 years over, before I joined my services with the university in 2013. Today, this is what I do. I had my background in computer science, first degree at the Olabisi Onabanjo University, and then my second degree at Robert Gordon University, also in computer science, and my PhD in technology management at the Obafemiolo University. So that is about the brief about me. So the knowledge I want to bring across to us today are some of the things I've gained over a period of time that I've been working. So one of the things is what I want to share today, which is quite impressive and can facilitate the way we do our work. So today we are going to be discussing automating document processing. And the goal really is to demonstrate how letters could be personalized and processed with automation for increased efficiency in the workplace. But before I go on, this is the way we are going to stratify the presentation. The first 10 minutes will be used for a kind of brief description about automating document processing. And then the next 10 minutes, I'm going to do a practical hands-on session on how to get this done in our Microsoft Word in collaboration with Excel software as well, which is also one of the Microsoft Suite package. So after which, I'm going to give 10 minutes for interaction in case we have question and answers, Q&A. And the last 5 minutes is going to be for any other related interactions among us. So thank you. I get started now. So the goal is to demonstrate how letters will be personalized and processed with automation for increased efficiency in the workplace. And in fact, this is one of the practical steps to facilitating e-administration. In about a month ago, this University of Obafemiolo University organized a webinar for administrators and secretarial staff on e-administration. So this is pointing to the fact that we are up to speed in Obafemiolo University regarding automating processes. And this is one of the first practical steps to actualize that, bringing that into practice. And then the goal of the automating document processing also is going to improve efficiency and productivity by reducing the time and effort required to complete repetitive tasks. Most of the time when we do our jobs, some of the things we do that we repeat often and often, we do copy and paste in MS Word to get things done. And most of the time we get bored, we get tired, we are not, it doesn't really give us what we really need in a quick time. But all of that from now is going to change. Another thing, it's a step to minimize the lag in communicating information to customers, staff, clients, members, etc. Much more in this information and knowledge age. So this is what we have to do. And then it also has a propensity to increase the quality of service delivery within the organization by improving the accuracy and consistency of data, because quality of service is also one of the things that we have to take with all seriousness. And that's why these are some of the things that this is going to give us at the end of the day. Now, what are the possible application domains? What are the possible use cases? We want to start with the registry. In the registry, you want to communicate letters of promotion to people that have been promoted. And when people are promoted, you don't want to wait 1 month, 2 months before they get the letters. But most of the time, it has been the usual practice, because the burden is so much on the registry people, because the typists, the secretaries are still working on sorting out the letters, and it usually takes days and weeks to get all of these things completed. But then we can automate this process, and this is what we're going to practicalize and demonstrate here today. So another use is with the human resources. In preparation of employment letters, human resources are responsible to get people engaged in jobs. And then once you have done the interview, you don't want to wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month to get the letters communicated to them that they have been hired. So you want to automate the process, and this is going to assist us to do that. You want to tell them, oh, fine, congratulations, guys, you have been employed, you are going to be the general manager. You want to tell them their salary, you want to tell them the effective date when they should resume work, and all of that. So all of these variables will change for different people. And this is what we're going to see. Even for event planning as well, it could assist to communicate with invited guests and participants for occasions. You want to carry out an event, and then you want people to come around. So the next one is marketing and sales. It can also be used as a resource, good resource to manage customer information and all of that. Even in religious houses, in this application, I've seen people from Mountain of Fire Ministries. I've seen RCCG, not just their members, but their core administrative staffs are apparently signed in for this, and I think it's also very relevant today. You can do this within religious houses to communicate postings or assignments of regional or state levels. Then we also in business to communicate with customers, subscribers on due dates for a given payment for a service or product. Maybe you have a service that you're providing for some customers, for about 500, 1,000 customers, and then they ought to have made the payment for that service. Maybe some of them are holding for 1 month, 2 months, and then you want to communicate this to them. Oh, guy, hello, dear Dr. So-so-so, or dear Mr. So-so-so, you are owing us $70.25 if given a month, and then please make sure you make payment by so date before you are disconnected. So you want to communicate that to them. As to do it for their Mr. Lagbaja, you also want to do the same for their Mr. Samson. You also want to do it for their Dr. Muse. But then you don't want to be doing it manually. We're going to see how the automation is possible. Now, this is a consideration for a use case in the registry. The registry that wants to issue out letter of promotions to the people that are due for promotion. They have done all the processes, and all they just needed to do now is to communicate the letters to them so that they can begin to use that title wherever they go and the things that they do. Now, this is the address is coming from 15 Ajan Lake Street, Akada Virtual Lab, Aoyaya Samanda Ibadan. And then if you look at the other end here, where I'm hovering my mouse, that's the address of the addressee, Dr. Tijani Awuleye, 13 Ajan Lake Street. Or surprisingly, they share the same address on this platform, but that's fine. That's going to change by the time I want to do the practical session. So Ibadan, Oyo State, 2005, the telephone number, the email address. The telephone number and email address are actually another point or another way to ensure that this is the person with this email, the person with this telephone number, bearing this name is the rightful owner of the content of this letter. That's another security measure to ensure that you are sending to the right person, because two people might be bearing the same name and then you don't know who is who. So if you look at that, now, dear Dr. Awuleye, I am pleased to inform you that the Board of Directors of Akada Virtual Lab have decided to promote you to the position of professor effective January 1, 2023. This promotion is in recognition of blah, blah, blah. And then next paragraph. As a professor, you'll be placed on a salary control 7, step 1, and another. If you look at this letter, there are a number of things that will change for another person. If you don't want to address this letter to Dr. Tijani, you want to address it to another person, maybe Dr. Smith, Ajan Lekofo, or Dr. anything. Now, you find out that the title may possibly change. It might not be doctor. It could be a professor. It could be a mister in this case, in another case. So this is the title. This will represent the title, which is the doctor here. This is Tijani here is the first name. First name is also variable. It's also going to change for another person. The last name is also going to change for another person. The address as well is going to change for other people. The telephone number is going to change because two people cannot have the same phone numbers. And then the phone number rather. The email address is the same thing. It's going to change for another person, for the second person, for the third person, for the fifth, and all of that. Now, if you look at these as well, now you now want to address, dear Dr. Awuleye, that's fine. This doctor might change, like I said the other time. Then the surname will also change, like I said. Now, the title, the position where that person is coming to, or where that person is being promoted to, will definitely change for different people. It could be a senior lecturer, it could be librarian 1, it could be senior clerical officer, and all of that. Now, if you look at the effective date as well, the effective date is also going to change for everyone. And then the next one is as a professor, that title is going to change for everybody. This step as well, the salary scale is going to change for everybody. Now, if you look at those variables, what we have to do now is to create records for all the people. So, like I said, all of these variables are going to change. But meanwhile, there are a number of things that are general to everyone. All of these letters, you have to. The first thing you will do is to get your letter ready. So let us see what is going to happen in the way we're going to key in their records. Now, this is the personal details of all the people you intend to promote. You already have their documentation, you have the title of those people, you have their names, you have their first name, their last name, you have the position that they have been promoted to. You also have their salary scale. You have gotten information about the effective date, their address, their city, their state, zip code, phone number, email address, and whatever, or what have you. Now, if you look at this, the record of each person flows from left to right, which means the record of Dr. Tijani Awuleye flows from left to right, which has an ID of 100. So once you are done with that person, you move to the next person. The next person here will have an ID 101. The ID could be their what do we call it now? It could be the ID card unique number. Yeah, ID number, unique number for them, because you may have to do some other things which you want to sort. And then maybe next time you want to do this promotion, you don't want to begin to key this in again. You just want to bring out this file and then sort those ones out. So you can sort it by their, extract, the people that are concerned now with the ID, which is like the primary key. But don't bother yourself about that. But it's not a big deal. It's not hard to understand. So, we are done with this. Like I said, you are going to create this file. I have record for about 10 people here on this screen, maybe up to 20, but then I think I'm only presenting about 10 here. So you have that, recorded, and then you ensure that you validate this with your superior. Get this printed for quality assurance, and be sure that the effective date for each person is correct. The names are written correctly. The titles, the position are written correctly, so that there won't be any error. And then, so once you are done with this, this is the personal details, a mini sample, in case you don't want to, do that long variable, like we have that here. We only have name, position, salary, skill, effective date, and a few others. But if you go back to this, you will see that all of these headings will represent all of this. Now, by the time we go into our Microsoft Word, we are going to attach this file to MS Word. And MS Word will see all of these files, and these headings will be there for us to begin to insert. And this is what I'm going to be doing next. I'm going to be sharing that. This is what I'm going to be doing next now. I'm going to share that. So now we are at the practical session. We have created this letter and the content is fine by you. That's the address, and this is going to be the address. So what we're going to do in this case is, the first thing is, what we are doing, this process, we call it mail merge. We call this process mail merge. So you come to the menu called mailing. If you look at over your Microsoft Word, and then you come to the mailing. Once you click on that mailing, you will see mail merge here. You click on mail merge. You can then say, you will see a drop-down menu: letters, email, envelope, labels, data, and all of that. So we are concerned with letters. In this case, let's click on letters. Once you click on letters, something will be done behind the scene, but you will not see. Don't bother yourself about that. Now, the next thing is to go to, you will look for this, select recipients. You want to select the people, the recipients that will receive this letter. Okay, you click on that. You see, type a new list, use an existing list, choose from Outlook or contact. In this case, we have an existing list that we have created in our Excel that we have saved, given a file name, a given name. So we don't want to begin to type a new list for that, because we don't want that. This is what we want to do. Want to click on the existing file. Just click here. And that will take us to where we are going to have our file. I don't know where you have saved your own, but for me, I think I have it in a particular folder. So you have to trace where the thing is. I am going to have my path on my computer. So I'm going to go there and then look for the document. Oh, here comes my document. Yeah, personal details. I have my personal details. So this is the document in Excel. Don't forget that. You click on that. Once you open that, it brings the sheet for you. Is this the sheet you are referring to? Fine, this is the sheet I want. Do you want to say that the row of the data contains column headers? Column headers are those IDs that I put on top before the listing of the records of the names of people. So yes, fine. So that the system can recognize the first line, the first row as headers. So you click on that and then you say, okay. Once you say okay, it does something behind the scene which you would not see, but then it has already attached that file with MS Word. So the next thing for us to do is to begin to insert the fields, those variables, those things where we want them to come out. Dear doctor, whatever, dear professor, we now begin to bring that. Now, so we start with the address. The address, like I said here, we're going to be talking about the title. Ordinarily, this should not be there, but then I just put it like there as a guide. So you have the title, and then the next thing is to go to look for insert field. You will see insert match field here, where I'm hovering my mouse. Once you click here, you will see a drop-down menu listing the titles. Can you see here? Listing all the titles we have in our Excel file. So now the first thing we want to do here, and I want to insert the title, whether doctor or professor or whatever, Mr. Now, the second one is the other name. You want to insert the other name. There are other names, and then don't forget, put a space in between those names. And then the last name, which is the surname. The last name here, fine. Then the address now. The address, you can put a comma at the end here. You can put a comma. Once you have a comma there, the next thing is your address. But ensure that by the time you are typing it in, you don't have a comma in your Excel, so that there will be double comma there at the end of the day. So you come in here and then look for address. Oh, you insert the address. This is it here. Then that's fine. Put a comma at the end of that as well. Come to city here, and then you say city. You put city there. You may not necessarily have to have anything here, but then this is just a guide for us to know what to put where. So states. I think, do we have the states? Have we included? All of those things will be put in inverted brackets rather. So inside field, you insert state. Fine, you insert state. Then the next one is zip code. Your zip code, you come over here to insert your field again. Zip code, zip here. There you go. Okay, don't forget. Let's enter here so that I can go to the next line. And then I like to put a comma here. I put a comma here, and then a phone number. The phone number. I select that. I just put insert phone number. I put my phone number. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to press enter here to go to the next line so that I can put my email address. And I also like to put a comma here. Let me put a comma at the end of that. Okay, that's fine. The email address here, email address. I click here to put my email address. There you go. Press enter again. And then dear doctor, professor, whatever. You put the title here again in the body of the letter. I want to put the title inside the title. Here is the title, title again. So you can use that many times as possible within the text, within the body of the letter, depending on what is useful for you, what is relevant to you. Here I want to say the last name. You don't want to put the first name because you don't want to say it's a formal letter. It's not an informal letter. For an informal letter, you can just put the first name. Dear Mike, dear whatever, dear Stella, dear anything. So the next thing is you now go to I'm pleased to inform you that the board of directors of Academic Virtual Lab have decided to promote you to the position of which position. So you insert that position here because that one will change. You insert, you look for position where they. Yeah, there you go. Position is there. Then effective date. You insert your effective date. Your effective date is here. And then your position again as a professor. You want to do that as well. You want to bring in insert the position, that's fine. Then you also want to insert the scale, the salary scale. On the salary of what? So salary scale, there you go. You can see that all these ones, you can bolding them if you like. You may decide to, you just select normal bold that we usually do in MS Word. You can decide to bolding or not to bolding. But then if you want to bold it, you just do it in the first page. If you look at this, it's just one single page that you have just configured. And we are good to go. The next thing for us to do now is to click on finish. You go back to your menu and then say, yes, I am done, and I want to generate the letters for all the listed people in Excel file that I have saved. So you just click on finish. You want to finish and match the documents. So do you want to edit to individual documents? Yes, this is what I want to do. But then you may also want to decide to say, I want to print directly into a printer. You have a printer connected to your computer. All you just have to just click on this and it will output all the letters one by one, page by page, different people addressing them the way you have keyed it in your Excel. But then I don't want to do that. I always like to ensure that I've done it correctly. So what I will do is I'm going to edit an individual file document. So it's going to generate another page for us, another document for us, which you can save on your system and edit appropriately and then print at your own time. So in this case, we have the opportunity to print all the documents. You can also print the first 5 documents within that already generate with the first 5 records in your Excel file. You can print the first 5. You don't want to print everything at a go. But if you want to print everything at a go, you just, I just want to print all. Once you click on all, and then you say, okay, it will generate that for you in another file. If you look at this, we have it, Dr. Tijani Ajanle Koko. Oh, this is fine. That's the first document. We move to the second one, giving us Dr. Johnson Adebayo. If you look at his address, 34 Agbado Street is different. And then the second, if you look at other things, his title is different. His position of associate professor and effective date 10/1/2022. And let's move on again and see other things. If you look at this is Dr. Smith, Dr. Funke Smith. 10 Omole presents and all of that, and then you move on. This is Mr. Chukwudi Mohammed, 15. That's our straight relation, all of that. And then there, Mr. Mohammed, you have been promoted to the position of senior lecturer, effective 7/6/2022, senior librarian rather. So if you move on to say senior librarian as we place on salary corner 3. If you look at this, you may have to correct this. This corner 3 is not correct. There should be a space between salary and corner. So if you like, you can then go back to the original file before you generate this, and then effect the change. So let's move to the next one. If you look at this is Mrs. Khadija Simon. Dear Mrs. Simon, and then you have been promoted to the position of assistant registrar, effective date 2/1, and all of that. Then, so and so forth. That is just what you have to do. It's as simple as that. So, fine.